Hello my sweet friends and welcome to DIY with Nadia. Today we are going to make a Dollar Tree wreath. I'm going to use my favorite Christmas Dollar Tree ribbon, which is this one. It's a little candy cane edged ribbon and I absolutely love it. So I'm going to be using that and this beautiful sign at the bottom. It says Candy Cane Lane. There you go. How sweet is this little sign? How can I not make a wreath? When I saw that, it was gorgeous, red, white. It had gingerbread. It had Santa in it. It's good to go, right, Louie? Without further ado, let's get started on the wreath. Here are the supplies we're going to need for a poof wreath using Dollar Tree Deco Mesh. Starting with 3 rolls of Dollar Tree Deco Mesh, and these are 6 inches in width by 5 yards. If you're not using Dollar Tree Deco Mesh, you can definitely use the 5.5 Deco Mesh that usually comes in craft stores. You're going to need some ribbon. This is my little star of this wreath. Some sort of centerpiece for the ribbon bundles. Then I am going to need 18 pieces of pipe cleaner for the wreath and 2 to 3 for the actual sign to attach it. I am going to be using some mesh tubing because we do have some brown in our sign and I want to make sure we incorporate that, and I just think the gingerbread looks really nice with this mesh tubing. Of course, the sign and a 14-inch metal wreath form. We have a very clingy Leo this morning, and every time I try to move him to the side so I can record, he comes back. So I am just going to leave this sweetness alone where he wants to be. To attach our pipe cleaners, we are going to keep it simple. We have 6 sections in this 14-inch wreath form, and we're going to attach 3 pipe cleaners per section. So if you just think about it one section at a time, it's not that overwhelming if this is one of the first times you're doing this. I'm going to take my first pipe cleaner and attach it in the center of rows 1 and 2. And I count my rings going from inside out. And as you can see, I folded in towards the inside of the wreath form. Now I'm going to take 2 more and I'm going to attach these to rings 3 and 4, and I'm going to fold these going out. Let's grab our second one, 2 twists, and fold it out just like this. On row 1 and 2 we have 1 pipe cleaner right in the center, and then to the sides of this one we have 2 more. So just in a zigzag kind of, we have 3. That's it. If you just look at this part, we're going to continue this going all the way around. My pipe cleaners are all on. As you can see, I have 6 on row 1 and 2, and they're facing towards the inside. And I have 12 on rows 3 and 4, and they're all facing towards the outside. This is what's going to help us find all these pipe cleaners as we're dealing with all the deco mesh. Now for our deco mesh. For a loop method, you need 5 to 6 yards, and the reason I say 5 to 6 is don't forget that it's not an exact science, because we do have tails in the beginning, we have tails at the end. Our loops may be a little shorter, little longer, so it just depends on how you make your loops. When I use Dollar Tree Deco Mesh, I don't mess with it. And I usually do 9-inch loops, not 10. I want all my deco mesh to unroll towards the table so that I have those loops happening while I get started. So I'm going to put the first one in, and I'm just using an IKEA little container. You can use a shoebox, whatever you have on hand. So I have my first one, then I have my second roll and my third roll. And that is how I have it as I unroll them. If I were to use a second color, for example, a white, I would put the white in between the 2 reds. Let's go over what we're going to do. I'm going to attach my deco mesh to one of the inside pipe cleaners. So if I attach it right here, I'm going to go around and do 9-inch loops all the way around until I come back to where I have started. Then I'm going to do a flat kind of loop, so no loop really. We're going to go flat from this pipe cleaner to this next one in the section, and then from here I'm going to do 9-inch loops going all the way around, and this is where I'm going to finish. I added my mat in so it's easier to measure my loops. Now I'm just going to make sure that my 3 layers are overlapping really nicely in the same area. For this method, you can also use 2 rolls of the 10-inch deco mesh, or you can use a roll of 21-inch deco mesh. You can also do a 4th roll if you want. That'll give you a nice full wreath. But I find that 3 is perfectly fine when you're going to have other decor like ribbon and a centerpiece. So first things first, let's go in about 1.5 inches to 2 inches and gather. Once we have our ending, we're going to attach it to the pipe cleaner. Then I'm grabbing a zip tie and I'm going to put the zip tie on row 2 from the inside. I zip tied the tail about 1 inch from the pipe cleaner. That way it straightens out that tail and you really don't need to cut it off. It's right there nice and secure. Cutting off the tail. All right. Apparently Leo wanted to make a grand exit walking in front of the camera like that. All right. My dark blue square is 8 inches. And I'm just going to add 1 more right here. So I have my 9 inches and I'm going to attach it to the next pipe cleaner. Another 9 inches. And I'm just going to continue doing this, going all the way around. If your deco mesh kind of sticks, what I do is I separate it in my little container and I just kind of lift it like this. So it gives you the little leeway and that's it. Just kind of wiggle it out. I'm on my last loop in the inner row. I finished where I started. You can see the zip tie right here. So now I'm going to go to the very next zip tie, the one that's right next to it, going in the same direction. And I'm going to do just a flat little piece right here. And now I move on to making my 9-inch loops once again. I'm about to make my last loop. This is where we started our outside row. And I just wanted to show you how much is left. So making 9-inch loops is perfect for the Dollar Tree deco mesh. I'm going to go and measure my 9 inches and attach. Cutting off about 3 inches. I'm going to grab another zip tie and here I'm going to go on row 3 from the inside and about 1 inch from my pipe cleaner I'm going to attach it with a zip tie. Now we're going to open up all our loops, and with Dollar Tree deco mesh you want to be as gentle as possible so we can prevent any fraying. I'm going to go to the bottom layer and then I'm just going to push it down and out. Just like that, nice and easy. Then I'm going to go to the next layer and the same thing, I'm going to push it down and then out. And that is how I'm just going to open everything up, just like that. My wreath is all poofed out. Now it's time to move on to the ribbon. I'm going to be cutting my ribbon into 11-inch strips. The way I cut my ribbon is after measuring the length that I want, I zigzag the ribbon until I have the amount of strips that I need. For this particular wreath, you are going to need 36 of these candy cane strips. Out of each roll, you're going to get 9 strips. I'm only doing 11-inch strips because our actual poofs are smaller. We did 9-inch poofs. When I'm done cutting the rolls, I'm just going to fold the little ends in half and cut a little triangle out, making sure I cut the edges. And I'm just going to go ahead and do this to all the ribbon. Next, I'm going to grab some white ribbon because this ribbon is so sheer. You want that to go on top of something that's going to make it stand out just a little bit. So I'm just using this roll from Costco and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to measure 11 inches and I'm going to cut 36 pieces. And now for the burlap mesh tubing, I'm just going to measure 10 inches. I'm not going to do too many. I'm going to just cut 18 of these. Everything is cut up. I have 18 pieces of the mesh tubing. I have 36 of the candy cane and 36 of the white. The white is optional, but I do recommend it just because it's going to really brighten up the wreath. Both my candy cane and the white ribbon are 1.5 inches in width, so using 2 of these is not that bad. Don't forget that, of course, the candy cane one is pretty sheer. I'm just going to overlay all of these, find my center, then I'm going to grab a piece of mesh tubing, squeeze everything together, and attach. I'm going to do this going all the way around. I had a question how I keep this so tight. I just keep my pieces taut and I move my fingers and then just twist it to 1 inch from the actual connection, cut it off, and just fold the little tail in half and back. It's nice and clean. All my ribbon is on, but I'm not going to open anything until the end. Now I'm going to put in a sign, and I was thinking of maybe leaving the candy cane sign, but I just think it's going to wobble and I don't think it's going to look good. So I am going to remove the actual candy cane sign from the back of the truck, and we are going to attach some pipe cleaners to the back. I like to attach my pipe cleaners using a little bit of felt, and it just locks it in. I feel like felt melts into the actual backing here. So I'm going to grab 3 pipe cleaners and make a little flat surface. And the way I attach my pipe cleaners is I imagine a circle around my car. So right here I'm going to have an attachment here going around. I'm going to have another one here and another one right here. That way when you attach it to the wreath form, it's going to attach nicely. Here I'm just going to put a little bit of hot glue, then put my pipe cleaner on, more hot glue, a little bit on top, a little bit at the bottom, so that we can grab our piece of felt and just attach it right here. It'll just melt in. And of course I'm doing the same thing on these. Now that I know where I want the truck, I'm just going to lightly attach it to the wreath form. When I'm sure the truck is where I want it to be, going to flip it back over, grab a placemat, and just zip tie it in place. I usually attach it in 3 to 4 places. When you zip tie it, get it nice and tight, cut off the tail, and send this part to the back so it doesn't scratch anything. Nice and clean in the back. Now this is where all that fun begins, and you're going to just start opening up your little ribbon bundles like a flower. As I'm opening my ribbon up, I want my candy cane ribbon to show, so I'm just overlaying the candy cane over the white and using it as kind of a double ribbon. When you're done opening up your bundles, see if you need to bring out your sign up a little bit. So if you need to move your ribbon a little bit, this is the time to do it. I want my gingerbread to show, my Santa, I want my Merry Christmas sign to show, so I'm just moving things around to make sure that everything shows up nicely. If you have a hole like this, just send one of the ribbon pieces back, and that's going to cover that a little bit because you should have plenty of ribbon. I think this is so busy, and I don't necessarily want to attach all of my ornaments. I want to scatter them throughout the wreath where they're going to look pretty. And this box has 3 different kinds. It has like this glittery one, then this one, and this one's a little bit kind of glammy. Put them around here and there and hot glue them in place. I do take this part off from the ornaments because I don't want the hot glue to stick to that but not the actual ornament. So I want to make sure I hot glue the actual ornament onto a wreath. And now I'm just going around and hot gluing the ornaments in place. What did you think of the wreath? Think it turned out really pretty? I don't know. You thought so? I agree. I thought it was cute. You liked it? That is a yes from Louie, and I want to know if you guys enjoyed watching this video, and liked how this wreath turned out. Thank you so much for being with me. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing, hitting the little bell button, and of course the thumbs up, so this video keeps on growing and this channel keeps on growing, and Louie and I, and of course with the help of my supervisor Leo, keep on making more wreath videos. If you're still in the mood to watch more wreath tutorials, Louie prepared 2 videos for you right there. Thank you so much, Louie. You're so sweet. Go ahead and click on those and have more wreath making fun. For now, we are going to say bye-bye. Thank you so much for being with us, and we will see you in our next video. Bye, everyone. Louie, say bye.